So this marvellous movement Feldenkrais tip is about how to get in touch with all the bones in your foot, the joints, the muscles and the nerves, and how to connect your feet into the rest of your body. So Tom, if you would just walk on the spot a little bit now, just lift your right heel, bend your right knee, then change over, bend your left knee, and just feel for you what it's like to walk like this on the spot, how your whole body moves. Okay, and then come around and sit in the chair. And please sit at the front of the chair and put one of the rollers horizontally across your feet, so you have both feet on the roller. Bring your feet so that they're directly underneath your knees. And now with very small movements, slow movements, begin to slowly move your feet, rolling the roller a little bit forwards and a little bit backwards. Just small, very small to begin with. Give your brain time to feel what you're doing. And notice as you roll forwards, what do your toes want to do? And as you roll backwards, what do your toes want to do? Do they want to stay put? Do they want to curl over? Do they want to roll backwards? Do they come up or do they roll down? And gradually increase the movement, but only as far as is comfortable for you, and never push into pain. And begin to sense, is there any reflection of the movement of your feet further up in your body? What's happening in your knees? And maybe your hip joints. And is there any inclination of your pelvis to roll a little bit forwards or backwards? And if so, when does it want to do that? Does the pelvis want to roll forwards as you go forwards, or backwards as you go backwards? Or maybe it wants to do the opposite. Maybe as your feet go forwards, your pelvis wants to roll backwards. And maybe as your feet go backwards, your pelvis wants to roll forwards. And if so, what effect does that have on your head? When do you feel like you get taller? When do you feel like you get shorter? And if you need to reposition the roller at any stage, sometimes it gets away from you, just shift it back again. But gradually begin to sense not only the movement of your feet and the bones in your feet, but of your knees, your hips, your pelvis, and even how you breathe. How do you breathe as you do that? And can you do it without looking at your feet, so that you actually begin to sense more from the inside out rather than looking at your feet? Beautiful. And pause. And now put the two rollers there, one lengthwise under each foot. And bring them so that you're pretty aligned in the middle of the chair more, so that your feet are pointing straight forwards. Good. Have some space in between, about the width of your knees apart and your hips. And both feet parallel. Bring your left foot forward a little bit so your feet are lined up together. Yeah. And very gently begin to roll your feet from side to side, inwards and outwards. And again, keep it really, really small. It's quite hard to get this without falling off the rollers, so you want to stay in control. But begin again to sense the movement in your toes, the bones in your feet, your ankles. And again, maybe something's happening in your knees. You feel anything in your pelvis or your sit bones? And do your knees want to go with the movement, or do they want to go the opposite way? So your knees obviously want to go with the movement. So could you put a hand on each knee and keep the knees where they are and just roll from the ankles? Really differentiate that a little bit. Beautiful. and pause. And then could you get both feet to go in the same direction? So you go to the outside of your right foot and the inside of your left foot. But maybe have a little bit more space between the rollers if you can. Yes. And again, your knees might want to go with your feet, or they might want to go the opposite way. And being the Feldenkrais method, we always have choices. We don't have to do it the same way all the time. So you can play with keeping the knees still, or you can play with keeping the knees moving with the feet. So really feel what's happening in your pelvis. Do you shift the weight from one buttock to the other or not? So this is a great way to wake up your feet, connect it to the rest of your body. So now you can take the rollers out and slowly stand up, come round to the back of the chair again. Notice how your feet are feeling as you walk. And put your hands lightly on the chair and just walk on the spot again. Lift your right heel, bend your right knee, keep your toes on the floor, just that's it. And notice, does that feel different? Has anything changed? Yeah? What's different?
Feel taller.
You feel taller and straighter. That's beautiful. So again, another nice little way to get in touch with your body during the day. Easy to do. And if you'd like to know more about the Feldenkrais method, you can go to marvellousmovement.com and look at my Marvellous Movement books, which are there to help you improve the quality of your life. Bye.